Alright. Some science memes.
You've got some nerve. Oh, really? You do too. Can I lick it? Sure, it's probably fine. Maybe not a good idea. You really shouldn't. Please reconsider. Goodbye, unemployment. Mad scientist jobs. Nuclear fusion reactor. Look what they need to mimic a fraction of our power. If Johnny has 5 apples, if that guy gets it wrong, he's getting a punch to the face. Don't get it wrong. If the multiverse theory is true, then there's a universe where it isn't. No, please stop. Ow, my head. Multiverse theory doesn't cover paradoxical situations, except in the universe where it does. I'm having an aneurysm. How I thought doing quantum physics would be like, how it actually is. Bacteria 3 billion years ago. The 600-degree geyser seems nice. Maybe I'll live here and eat chemicals until photosynthesis is invented. Modern bacteria. I've been exposed to alcohol. I'm going to die. I love physics. Me too. I'm the girl. No, I've developed a harmful chemical to prevent mammals from eating me. Aha, little umbrella plant. Make me vision go brrrr. Make me see colorful things. You ever dropped acid? Flashback to the chemistry class accident with my lab partner Gary. No feet Johnson. No.
Oh,
nature.
God.
Creates a fish with a deadly toxin and no known antidotes to fight off predators. Humans. Electrons have been explained. Imagine a ball that's rotating, except it's not a ball and it's not rotating. Can you give me a socially capable brain to form a wolf pack? Yeah, actually forms social bond with humans like a boss. Friend time. A Jeep Wrangler is less aerodynamic than a lobster. Oh yeah, duh. Never ask a woman her
underwater.
age. Salary. Homo sapiens, what happened to the rest of the Homo species? Trade offer. I receive apple. You receive a lot of maths. You aren't allowed to do stuff like this anymore. It's BS. Procrastinate so hard that you start watching lectures about physics, organic chemistry. Why is it when something happens, it's always you three? Oxygen, carbon, hydrogen. Classical mechanics physics. Here is the formula, and this will happen precisely like you calculated. Quantum physics. What the hell is happening? Frogs back then. I am big and powerful. I'm a hunter and I eat juvenile dinosaurs. Frogs now. The fungi is making me extinct. This fool keeps pausing the Hunger Games to identify plants. Immune system. Looking for bacteria, viruses, parasites, cancer cells. Oh, it's a peanut. May the force be equal to mass times acceleration. The difference between nerds and geeks. The thing that finally made me understand the difference. Biologists will be like, this is a very simplified diagram of a mammalian cell. Chemists will be like, this is a molecule. Fish then weighed 60 tons, could eat a shark, one of the most infamous predators of all time. Fish now dies of pH changes from 7 to 7.1. Oops, you added too much butter, sugar, flour, baking soda, egg, mess. Black holes aren't stationary. You can't scare me with this. Some black holes actually travel through space close to the speed of light in any direction, and if one was headed our way, we would never even know because they're invisible. When you accidentally drink acid, immediately also drink alkali to neutralize it. Chemist. NASA fixes Hubble gyroscope by turning it off and on again. Engineer. Me explaining how I'm recreating Schrodinger's experiment. My parents wondering why my little brother is sealed in a cardboard box. It's for science. What? This is an English lesson, not Egyptian hieroglyphs. Even Egyptians can't read your writing. Well, I'm not Egyptian, so I don't know. Space is weird. Did you know that if you put Saturn in water, it would float? Or that we're moving through space at the rate of 530 kilometers a second? Or that the moon is drifting away from Earth? What about that the light hitting the Earth right now is 30,000 years old? Thanks, NASA. No one can explain why planes stay in the air. Me, an aerospace engineer. How planes fly.
Magic.
I told to focus on cleaning my bathroom and ended up sitting on the bathroom floor for an hour making a cube tip. This is it. I give up. Select all squares with electrons. Infertility is genetic. If your parents couldn't have kids, you also won't. Your dealer's number, please. I don't know what gravity is. Gravity is just the curvature of space-time. We don't know. Shut up. Lava lamp and magma lamp. Was Schrodinger alive or dead in his funeral? Mitosis. The DNA in different sperm cells is nearly identical, so this is fake. Scientist, president, the best football player, you. And this is the truth. You with more facial hair. You, slightly dumber. Real scientists. I can't wait for someone to try and disprove my findings. Pseudoscientists. If you challenge my findings, it hurts my feelings. Lord Kelvin. There is nothing new to discover in physics anymore. Einstein, Bohr, Schrodinger, Planck. I feel totally safe using Tesla Autopilot. Programmers. If you wear glasses, we expect a lot from you academically. I failed an eye test. You're misplacing your expectations. Isaac Newton stuck his sewing needle under his eyeball, pushed it all the way to the back of his eye socket, and wiggled it around to test his theory of optics. Newton, 'tis but a scratch. They were just doing anything for science. Invented fire,
Honestly, yeah.
split the atom, trained a trillion parameter language model, used it to generate Catgirl with particle, cannon, and jiggle physics in 8K. The thresher shark has a tail that is the same length as its body, and its purpose is to slap and whip fish, knocking them out. This is quite possibly the weirdest and most carefully thought out pickup line I've ever read. Dang girl, are you my appendix? Because I don't understand how you work, but this feeling in my stomach makes me want to take you out. Biochemist, you based your model exclusively on the phenotypes you observe. You have no direct evidence. Geneticist, your direct evidence comes from test tubes and buffers. How is that representative of a living system? Wildlife biologist, monkey, zoologist, awesome, biology teacher. Mutualism is one of bacteria and the host benefit. My brain, how to explain wormholes. 7-year-old me in class, after the teacher told us the sun will explode in 7 billion years. I was more scared of quicksand and the Bermuda Triangle, but yeah. Horses daily sleep is 2. Is this true? How much does a horse sleep? Oh, 5 to 7 hours. Engineering student, maybe I am a horse. An octopus unscrewing on the inside. Octopuses are going to kill us someday. I had a biology teacher that told us a story about an octopus at an aquarium in Australia. The staff were concerned because their population of crustaceans kept disappearing. No bodies or anything. They checked the video feed to find out what's up. Across from the tank was a small octopus tank. This little guy squeezed out of a tiny hole at the top of his tank, walked across the hall, and got into the other tank. He would then hunt and eat. After he was done, he crawled back out to get back in his tank. Here's the kicker. Security guards patrolled the area. The staff realized that the octopus had memorized the security's routine. It would escape and be back between the guards' rounds. An octopus in Germany was annoyed by a bright light shining into his tank, so he climbed over the rim and squirted water at it to short it. Octopuses, man.
I mean, they are intelligent beings after all. People tend to forget that these things with proper neurons and everything else would almost classify as human intelligence. They're a type of sea or wildlife, I guess. What was it? Hammond's life.
Temperature in space is minus 457.87 degrees Fahrenheit. Kinda weird that it gets so cold as you get closer to the sun. Physics teachers introducing a lesson about conservation of momentum. Did you ever hear the tragedy of the two cars A and B traveling in a straight line? I just saw a chilling video from Springfield. A man speeding home from work found a glowing green uranium rod in his trousers and threw it out his window, nearly hitting a skateboarding boy with it. Do not trust atoms. They make up everything. Physicists after discovering a new element that only lasts for 0.0000314 milliseconds, is lethally radioactive and adds no value to society. My heart, when the tattoo artist says oops, when the taxi driver says oops, when the doctor says oops, you get it? Because you're dead. Booker loves staring at ice cubes. He doesn't lick them or touch them. He just stares and purrs. Just a fan of thermodynamics. I hate my life. The hundreds of millions of cells working to keep you alive. Yeah, cells do have your back, guys. If you had a room with absolutely nothing in it, and the walls and ceilings and floor were made of mirror, what would it look like in the mirrors? No. I just asked my dad, who's a physics teacher, and he looked at me, looked at the table, looked at me, tried not to smile, looked angry, and started to look up where you can buy big mirrors. Well, if it's a room with nothing in it other than mirrors, it'd be empty, so you wouldn't see anything. Nothing at all. Not even a reflection. Be pitch black. Okay, perfect. The growing inaccessibility of science, yet it's behind a paywall. Amazing. Virus mutates. Memory T cells. I've never met this man in my life. Live humans eating dead mushrooms. Live mushrooms eating dead humans. Ecological balance maintained, as all things should be. Hey, folks have discovered thinking. Fair. Sometimes in the process of writing a good enough prompt for ChatGPT, I end up solving my own problem without even needing to submit it. Really? It's like you have a brain.
Sad.
Fun fact. The oldest flute is 60,000 years old, while the earliest earliest indications of humans wearing pants date 20,000 years ago, indicating an approximately 40,000 year historical period where we had music but no pants. We had priorities, okay? Really bad joke of the week. Two chemists walk into a bar. Chemist 1, I'll have H2O please. Chemist 2, I'll have water also. Chemist 1 walks away frustrated as his assassination attempt failed. I like that the Venus flytrap could get energy from the sun but chooses violence. A lemon is not a naturally occurring fruit. It's actually bred from a sour orange and a citron. The sour orange itself is bred from a pomelo and a mandarin. So it's not the product of evolution, but selective breeding. So life didn't give us lemons. The implications of this revelation are more important than I think we all realized. When life doesn't give you lemons, you invent them yourself. You can go back 100,000 years to a cave that will be discovered by archaeologists. What will you write on the walls to mess with them? They have taken the bridge in the second hall. We have barred the gates, but cannot hold them for long. The ground shakes. Drums in the deep. We cannot get out. The shadow moves in the dark. We cannot get out. They're coming. I would probably say something like, in perfect English, just a random date, doomsday. I think that'd be funny. What is the difference between a PhD
No, the first one is hilarious.
Pizza? A large pizza can feed a family of 4. As a bat biologist, I just want to give a shout out to bats, who for years we've been saying are super sophisticated at dodging one another and flying in synchrony. Now that we've used high-speed cameras on them, turns out they crash into each other all the time. Bats are cool. Is this a viral post? 2020 engineering students. Passes thermodynamics online exam. Water heater in 2022. Trust me, I'm an engineer. Programmer. Just read the documentation. The documentation? God. Creates 96 billion light-year wide universe. Humans. Can't wait to explore it. God. Makes light speed 300. Oops, I did it again. NASA's sun blocked the moon. Physicists. You can't take G equals 10. It's 9.8. Also physicists. Cat is dead and alive. Sin X equals X. Let penguin be a cylinder. Assume no friction. Imagine ideal body. Making my way down Big Easy. I really wish dodos would come back. We did them so dirty. We did them wrong. Literally anything happens in nature. Physicists. Freaking why? Hi Owen. Your exam was flagged for multiple people in the frame for nearly all of your exam. When I checked it, it made me laugh. I can tell when you shifted to the left. I thought you might find it funny too, and might like to know that the baby is flagging you. I don't look at these videos unless they are marked as having a high possibility of cheating. What is it called when you lock in and crash out at the same time? Exam season? Yes, chemical-free food exists. Homegrown fruits and vegetables. I grew up on a farm and everything was chemical-free. No, it doesn't. Even the ones you grow are made of chemicals. You are made of chemicals. Everyone you know is made of chemicals. We are made of elements, not chemicals. We have 95% water. I'm not reading what this guy has to say. Made some semi-educational sunfish
70%.
since they're my favorite animal right now. Hey girl, are you a sunfish? Because you're docile and pose no threat to divers. Was Einstein rich? So he had 1 million when he died in 1955. So yeah, that's a lot of money. But he owns his estate earns 12 million a year from endorsement deals. What does he get paid from though? Whenever I post fitness photos, I get comments saying, you'll never be as strong as a man, and also, you're clearly a man. I am Schrodinger's man. Whether I'm a man or not depends on what the commenter thinks will be the most insulting at the time. Hey girl, remember where you came from. Farther back. There you go. Nah fam, relativity bussin' for real. Seriously MC squared, no cap on God. Study 3 years for a degree, 3 more for a PhD. Join lab, start working. Spend years studying problem. Form hypothesis, gather evidence. Test hypothesis, form conclusions. Report findings, clear peer review. Findings published, reported in press. Guy on the internet. BS. There is an island on the coast of Australia where a pair of dogs guard a colony of tiny penguins so they won't be wiped out by foxes. The little penguin colony was nearly extinct until 2006, where the trained Maremma sheepdogs were put on the island to be their protectors. No penguins have been killed since the program began, and the population increased from fewer than 10 to nearly 200. Evolution of the multiplication system. Can we listen to something else besides Einstein's 1905 paper, which offered a quantum-based theory to explain the photoelectric effect? Remember, the higher you go, the further you'll have to travel. 4 times the flight time, when you only need to go back in time a few hours. A limerick. Doesn't look like a limerick to you? Try this. This makes me sick. This is actually what you are. Everything else is parts and casing. Charles Darwin and Steve Irwin owned the same tortoise named Harriet. The tortoise passed away in 2006 at the age of 176. Have you ever wondered what 10 million stars look like? Well, you're in luck. I can help you. With an assist of a massive camera on a huge telescope looking at the center of our enormous galaxy. Isn't it crazy that we can just see this? Here's a picture of me on my first day of med school, and a picture of me from this week. This is the best chemistry meme I've seen so far, and I can't stop laughing. Samuel L. Jackson, Samuel D. Jackson. Can I own a capybara in California? They are illegal to own as pets in California. The rodents aren't dangerous, just weird looking, said Department of Fish and Game spokesman Andrew. Shut up, Andrew. Mom, why does brother's beak look different than mine? I always worried you'd ask about this one day. It's a secret, so you can't tell anyone, but your brother's adopted. Look closely. There are actually 16 circles in this image, and once you see them, the image appears changed forever. The wonderful coffer illusion. Marine biology professor. So an octopus can change its color to mimic its surroundings. When an octopi does this, it's called an octoli, metacrosis, moctopus, starfish feeding on a dead whale. I've never been scared of starfish until this moment. Oh, I was born in the wrong generation. Bunny. Hiya kids, let's learn about cars. Can anyone tell me what makes cars go? Petroleum-derived gasoline, the byproduct of fossilized dinosaurs and other organic life. What? We desecrate the graves of your ancestors to make our cars go vroom, Barnabas. The video on the left is from Shutterstock, with whom OpenAI has a partnership with. I like how the OpenAI version smooths out some of the real bird's rougher edges. Maybe fake nature will fake nature will not be prettier. Nothing to see here, folks, just a very normal Venn diagram. A butterfly knife. Other women with the time machine. I'm your granddaughter, me with a time machine. If I had a time machine, I would not be doing this. This is a stop sign. Get out. If you ever feel useless, then you haven't seen the simplification. We're not crying over relationships. We're crying over anatomy and physiology. Define aura. Is the cat alive? Yes, no. The most useless buttons on the calculator.
Let's try again.
We're not crying over relationships. We're crying over anatomy and physiology. Define aura. Is the cat alive? Yes, no. The most useless buttons
yes,
on the calculator.
No.
These people vote. I just wanted an oil change, bro. Why it's a bad idea to major in physics. The math is hard. You'll never enjoy action movies again.
The math is
always
hard.
It's the wrong physics. Delete one.
You know what? That one makes sense.
Artificial intelligence can't take your job if your job never required any intelligence to begin with. I didn't get it. You're safe. What's wrong with my geometry teacher? Draw a clown. Self-portrait? Dang it, Jim. I'm an astronomer, not a doctor. I mean, I am a doctor, but I'm not that kind of doctor. I have a doctorate, but it's not the same thing. You can't help people with a doctorate. You just sit there and you're useless. Imagine having to move in order to breathe. Me spending hours of my lab report just for my TA to grade it like I ran over his dog, ate the last cookie, and stole their car. A reminder that you're an omnivore, a predator. Yeah, people forget that we are just animals. Create an image of how do you see our conversations in real life. What the hell is that? Wanna see a fish diagram? Yeah, illuminating. When you choose an academically challenging degree and you get academically challenged. Got rejected for a place in the sun. A place in the sun application. Aw, wish I could work in the sun. I once lied on my CV. I got the job and got promoted. He convinced the world that he was a coding wizard. Now I'm stuck in a never-ending cycle of Google searches and caffeine-fueled coding sessions. This is when I regret it, and I do indeed. Then just quit. If you really regret it, you'd quit. Unless you're getting paid like a lot of
I could find a job that I can bullshit like that. Maybe I should lie on my application too. Maybe I'll get something in the end.
money. The beauty of a living thing is not the atoms that go into it, but the way those atoms are put together. We're all just made of 2 quarks and a lepton. Back when everyone loved Elon. Walking home from my lecture tonight, I noticed a whole dumpster full of finely bound theses and dissertations behind the University Alberta Education Center. Not even being recycled, just going to the landfill. This sums up modern education. I think this sums up education, not just modern.
In general, yeah.
Why do people do the thing? Sociology? How do people do the thing? How do people who do the thing interact with other people who do the thing? Anthropology. Who else has done / is doing the thing, and where are they? Philosophy. What is the meaning of the thing? Where did the thing come from? Geology. Is this thing a rock? Legs. Speaking as a geologist, usually the answer is no. However, sometimes it is yes, and on that day we rejoice.
We rejoice.
A bog is a wetland that is acidic. A fen is a wetland that is alkaline. Someone said it! A swamp is a wetland whose vegetation consists of trees or other woody plants. A marsh is a wetland with other forms of vegetation. All this for me to forget. I need photographs photographic memory. Or I need to get like a head trauma, you know, and some people get, I don't know what it is, but some people have like trauma in their head and then they turn out to be a genius after. Ask ChatGPT to respond to my friend's ex's apology. Thanks for the message. Your sudden epiphany is cute, but I'm not here to hand out gold stars for belated realizations. I'm busy rebuilding what you broke, so while you're on your therapy journey, I'll be over here living my best life sends your drama. Cheers to growth, but don't hold your breath for my forgiveness.
Damn. Are we really going out of our way to use ChatGPT for relationship advice and breakups? What does this world come to?
Virgin bee names versus Chad wasp names.
Honeybee, carpenter bee, bumblebee, mason bee, Cheddar's murder hornet, executioner wasp, cicada killer, and tarantula hawk.
I think a honeybee's a cute name. Tarantula hawk and cicada killer? No, those aren't cool. If you disagree with scientists about science, it's not really a disagreement. You're actually just incorrect. Science is not the truth. It's the process of finding the truth. When science evolves, it didn't lie to you. It learned more. Yes, the lobotomy really deserved a Nobel Peace Prize. Plants. I'm gonna wave my genitals in the air. Humans. Fragrant. There's this running going a lot. And now that it's becoming summer, these plants have just sprouted. And I don't know what the plant is, but I hate the smell of it. And it literally makes me unable to breathe when I go past it. It's not lavender, but it's a similar color. How to cite a dream/hallucination in APA 7th. What? I want to include something that was revealed to me in a vision in one of my research papers, but I don't know how to cite it. I do have dreams where I think I've just cracked a code to something really important, and when I wake up, I just forget everything. You've got some nerve. Oh.
Just say something and forgets it entirely, alright. Makes sense.